Hello and welcome, our blood viewers, to our today's news English edition. As usual, we bring to you the major and top highlights of tonight. Celebration of the World Children's Day. And the official ceremony to head over the keys to the rolling stock between the Post and IGAD. And on international scene, Israeli strikes intensify in the south of the country amid renewed tensions of the border. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, blood viewers. In line with the countries around the world, the Republic of Djibouti, through the Ministry of Women and Family, today, Thursday, 28 November 2025, marked World Children's Day following a week of sustained activities. The ministry, in partnership with UNFD, the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, UNICEF, and SOS Villages, held the commemoration at the People's Palace. The ceremony, held under the high patronage of the Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed, demonstrates the priority of the country's highest authorities placed on children's issue. Government officials, members of the diplomatic corps actuated to Djibouti, representatives of United Nations agencies, parliamentarians, and a large number of children attended. The event concluded a week of activities aimed at raising awareness of the importance of protecting children's rights, which are an indispensable element of the country's human capital. Various workshops organized throughout the week and coordinated by the Ministry of Women and the Family and the UNFD with national and international technical partners, including UNICEF as the leading child's rights partner, brought together parliamentarians, civil society representatives, and other stakeholders to inform and sensitize the public about the best interests of the child. Speakers at the official ceremony reiterated that safeguarding and promoting children's rights is not optional, but a necessity for a better world for every child. The UNICEF representative recalled the universal duty to protect every child and stressed that investment in children is an investment in the nation's future. Let's listen to her.
The UNICEF representative began by stating that World Children's Day is not just a symbolic date but a reminder of our collective responsibility towards every child in Djibouti. He commended the ongoing commitment of the government, the Ministry of Women and Family Affairs and the UNFD to advancing children's rights, emphasizing the importance of the strong partnership between UNICEF and the national institutions. She stressed the need to place the best interests of the child at the heart of all public policies. Protecting and promoting children's rights is not an option but an obligation that we must fulfill with determination. She declared, noting that children constitute the most valuable human capital for building a sustainable future. She also highlighted the workshop and activities conducted throughout the week, which raised the awareness among parliamentarian civil society actors and various technical partners. According to him, these forums for exchange represent essential opportunities to strengthen national capacity and harmonize our actions in order to create a protective environment for all children.
The Ministry of Women and the Family paid tribute to families, caregivers, and frontline workers who support children daily and reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to advancing child welfare across health, education, and social protection.
En ce 20 novembre 2025, nous célébrons la semaine dédiée à l'enfant.
The Minister of Women and Family opened her speech by recalling the powerful symbolism of this day celebrated under the high patronage of Prime Minister. She emphasized that this commemoration testifies to the importance that the Republic of Djibouti attaches at the highest level to the protection and promotion of children's rights. Our children represent our future. Their well-being must guide our political and social action, she affirmed. She reflected on the week of activities organized by her ministries in collaboration with UNFD, UNICEF, SOS Children's Villages, and national and international partners. The minister highlighted the active participation of institutions and civil society, which demonstrates a collective awareness of the need to guarantee every child a safe, educational, and fulfilling environment. The minister also emphasized the central role of the awareness workshop held throughout the week. According to her, this meeting helped strengthen institutional commitment to the concept of the best interests of the child. We have a responsibility to ensure that every public decision takes into account the fundamental needs of our children, she stated firmly. To conclude her remarks, she reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to continuing its effort alongside all partners. Child protection is a national priority. We will continue to work tirelessly to build a better world for every child in Djibouti, she concluded.
The Prime Minister, for his part, described children's rights as a national priority and commended the week-long activities that culminated in today's commemoration.
Mes chers enfants,
children of the world and dear children of Djibouti, this day is dedicated to you to raise public awareness of your rights, your needs, and above all, to remind everyone how important it is for you to ensure your education, your protection, and a better future. Children's rights are universal and inalienable. They are enshrined in the International Convention on the Rights of the Child adopted by the UN in 1989 and the African Charters on the Rights of the Child to which our country has fully adhered. Our country has made significant progress in this area. As the speakers before me have reminded us, our country is immensely proud to be among the nations that place children's rights at the highest level of priority. Thanks to the firm commitment of the President of the Republic, I also commend the elections of the new member of the Children's Parliament to the National Assembly. Through this institution, Djibouti reaffirms that the voice of the child is not secondary. It is absolutely essential to building a fairer, more inclusive, and more harmonious future. International Children's Day is not just symbolic, it is an occasion for celebration and a time for reflections. It reminds us that every child, wherever they live, has the fundamental right to health, education, safety, and love. Unfortunately, many children in many countries are still deprived of these fundamental rights. This day, therefore, calls for action, solidarity, and collaboration so that every child can grow up in a healthy, safe, and fulfilling environment. It is our responsibility as adult parents, teachers, and members of the society to ensure that these rights are respected, and as a reminder, this means providing equitable access to education and healthcare, protecting children from all forms of violence and discrimination, encouraging their participation in decisions that affect them, promoting an environment where every child can reach their full potential. These rights are the foundations for building a just and equitable society. At this solemn moment, as we celebrate this day dedicated to the children of the world, I cannot help but think especially of all the children who are victims of armed conflict, living in conflict zones where they are exposed to extreme violence. I am thinking particularly of the children of Gaza and Sudan. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders from all sectors, on this International Children's Day, let us all commit to making our country a place where every child can live happily and safely. These challenges require strong and coordinated national and global mobilization to protect children's rights, guaranteeing their safety, health, and education, and enable them to grow up in an environment conducive to their development. Together, let us build a better future, a future where every child can reach their full potential.
The Life Science Institute of CERD, in collaboration with the Leonard Laboratory of Marine Environmental Science at the European Institute of the Sea, University of West Brittany, Brest, today hosted a major scientific conference in the CERD Conference Hall. Held under the theme Exploration and Valorization of the Tajarrah Gulf, focus on mackerel and sponges, the meeting presented the results of an in-depth study of Djibouti's marine ecosystem, with particular emphasis on the biological richness of mackerel and sponges, key resources for research and sustainable development. The ceremony was chaired by the Minister of Higher Education and Research, Dr. Nabil Mohammed, in the presence of the General Director of CERD, Dr. Jalaluddin Mohammed, and the Director of the Life Science Institute, Dr. Abdurrahman Dahir, and numerous science researchers and students from the University of Djibouti also attended. Speakers underlined the strategic importance of the Tajarrah Gulf as a reservoir of marine biodiversity and highlighted the research, conservation, and economic valorization opportunities presented by mackerel and sponge. The initiative reflects CERD and its international partners' commitment to deepen knowledge of Djibouti's marine ecosystems and to support national efforts to environmental protection and sustainable development. For his part, SERT Director General Dr. Jalaluddin Mohammed praised the scientific community and the students of the University of Djibouti for their strong participation in the day dedicated to the study of the country's marine heritage. Speaking at the event also, the Minister of Higher Education and Research, Dr. Nabil Mohammed, thanked Djiboutian researchers and their partners from the Leonard Laboratory for their essential contribution to the knowledge and preservation of the marine ecosystem, a fundamental pillar of sustainable development. The Minister of Energy, Mr. Yunus Ali Gedi, holding a substantial delegation, has begun a multi-day working visit to Mumbai, India's financial capital. The minister's mission takes place in the context of a shared desire by authorities of both countries to develop and further strengthen bilateral relations across economic, commercial, energy and mining sectors. During his visit, Mr. Yunus Ali Gedi held a series of meetings with leaders of Indian groups to explore productive investments with a particular focus on the energy, mining and oil and gas sectors. The minister's mission takes place in the context of the shared desire by authorities of both countries to develop a better future and strengthen bilateral relations across economic, commercial, energy and mining sectors. An official handover ceremony for the rolling stock of the HDMI project Horn of Africa Digital Market Integration was held this morning in the presence of the Minister of Communication, Posts and Telecommunications, the Director of La Poste of Djibouti and the IGAD Executive Secretary. The event marks the operational launch of this major project financed by the African Development Bank and coordinated by IGAD. The HDMI project aims to tackle economic fragmentation in the digital divide in the Horn of Africa. It rests on two complementary pillars: the modernization of logistical infrastructure symbolized by the fleet of vehicles and motorbikes handed over today, which is expected to drastically reduce delivery times and achieve 90% service reliability, and the forthcoming deployment of a regional digital marketplace granting access to an integrated market of more than 300 million consumers. The Djibouti Post is identified as a key operator in the transformation. The project is presented as a step towards expanding connectivity and shared growth. An artisan in Tajarra will be able to sell to Addis Ababa, a trucker in Dakhil to export to Nairobi, and a young entrepreneur in Al Sibih to reach the regional market. The General Director of La Poste stated that the project aims to modernize logistics and create a regional digital marketplace to promote economic and digital integration across the Horn of Africa. For his part, the IGAD Executive Secretary recalled the strategic importance of the HDMI, regional digital transformation and the modernization of logistical infrastructure. Let's listen to him.
In this region, there is a long-held truth that a road is made by walking it together. This morning, we do more than walk, we drive. We accelerate and we arrive. We drive not just vehicles, but the velocity to a vision that has waited too long to become reality. 5 vehicles, simple enough for any of us to count on one hand, yet what they carry cannot be measured in cargo capacity or fuel efficiency. They carry a connection to the disconnected. They carry opportunity that is overlooked. They carry the weight of a promise we are finally keeping, that no village, no entrepreneur, no citizens in the Horn of Africa will be isolated in this very digital world. Honorable Minister, Excellencies, friends, I will not sugarcoat our situation. While the world races ahead building digital super highways and e-commerce markets, our intra-regional trade impending behind at 6%.
The Minister of Communication reiterated that the project aims to address the challenge of economic fragmentation and the digital divide in the Horn of Africa. The ADDS today signed agreements with 8 community associations under the project, mobilizing communities for better nutrition, funded by a Japanese grant and administered by the World Bank. The agreement, totaling 85 million Djiboutian francs and covering 1 year period, will support youth clubs designed to assist 1,500 adolescents across the four districts of Djibouti City and Balbala, Arhiba. And the signing ceremony was attended by the Deputy Mayor of Djibouti City, the President of the Commune of Balbala, the President of the Commune of Bul'os, and the Director General of ADDS. This partnership marks a significant step in implementing the Mobilizing Communities for Better Nutrition project and reflects the joint commitment of the government of Japan, the World Bank, ADDS, and local associations to social development and the welfare of Djiboutian youth. The General Director of ADDS described the agreements signed with 8 community associations as a milestone for youth empowerment and community nutrition. He outlined the project's objectives to establish youth clubs, provide nutrition education, and support 1,500 adolescents across targeted neighborhoods, and strengthen local associations' capacity to deliver social services. Intensified Israeli strikes in southern Lebanon have been reported, aimed to renewed border tensions. More details with Mohammed Adan.
Intensified Israeli airstrike in southern Lebanon amid renewed border tensions. The Israeli military has intensified its airstrikes on several areas in southern Lebanon in recent hours, killing at least one person in the villages of Al-Teri, according to data from the Lebanese Ministry of Health. Israeli stated that these operations are part of a campaign to prevent any resumptions of military activity near the border, claiming to have targeted facilities it accuses of being used for weapon storage in residential areas. Hezbollah has denied these accusations, calling them a pretext for military escalation. The strikes took place alongside intensive Israeli air patrol in the region, while rescue and civil defense teams continue to assess the damages and ensure the safety of residents. This development comes just days after an airstrike hit the Ain al-Hilwa refugee camp near Sidon, which resulted in several casualties, according to Lebanese authorities. This latest escalation underscores the fragility of the border situation despite the ceasefire agreement reached in 2024, violations of which persist despite international effort to preserve stability in southern Lebanon.
East Africa regional report has been published to support sustainable development in the Lake Victoria Basin. More details again with Mohammed Adan.
East Africa publication of a regional report to support sustainable development in the Lake Victoria Basin. The East African community unveiled on the sidelines of the COP30 in Belém the preliminary versions of the report, State of the Lake Victoria Basin 2025, a major scientific document that comprehensively analyzes the ecological health of the lake and its related socio-economic dynamics. According to the public data, the report provides a comprehensive assessment of water quality, biodiversity, and increased pressure from domestic wastewaters, agricultural activities, industries. It also incorporates elements related to governance and livelihoods of community living around the lake, thus offering a solid basis for developing joint public policies. The document emphasizes the need for strengthening cooperation among the RIPEN countries to address major challenges such as ecosystem degradation, sediment pollution, and the proliferation of invasive aquatic plants. It also highlights the importance of investing in environmental infrastructure and transboundary projects to protect the water resources of the world's largest tropical lake. The report draws on a regional hydrological data collection system.
A devastating blaze erupted on 18th of November 2025 in the Sanganosuke district of Ota City in southwestern Japan and spread rapidly under strong winds, destroying or damaging more than 170 homes. More than 200 firefighters, supported by military helicopters, were mobilized to contain the flames, which affected an area of about 4.9 hectares, including wooded areas and an uninhabited islet located several kilometers offshore. Well, but these are Blood viewers. We finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more as usual. Have a wonderful evening and take care. Thank you.